Just thinking about it. There we are. We're live.
I know we don't know where we're going. I know we don't know where we've been. Till now it's never been so complicated. Guess I'll just follow the new trend. I don't care what you think or say. Those concrete blocks are clicking static time away. There's no time left to think things through. But oh well. Why now we don't know where we're going? Why now we don't know where we've been? Till now it's never been so complicated. Guess I'll just follow the new trend. Give me the weirdest unknown. We are the broken pieces of the cornerstone. There's no time left to think things through. But oh well. Why now we don't know where we're going? Why now we don't know where we've been? Till now it's never been so complicated. Guess I'll just follow the new trend. I know we don't know where we're going. I know we don't know where we've been. Till now it's never been so complicated. Guess I'll just follow the new trend. Guess I'll just follow the new trend. Guess I'll just follow the new trend. Guess I'll just follow the new trend.
This is the Hammer Down Racing Report. And now your hosts, Scott Hammer, Ron Miller, and Jerry Keyser.
Welcome, race fans, to the Hammer Down Racing Report for Thursday, May 13th. Show number 179. Scott Hammer along with Jerry Keyser, Ron Miller, coming at you from the Hammer Down Racing Report home studios, or Tim Sims studios in Jerry's case. Hammer Down Racing Report's presented by Oakshade Raceway. Coming at you live on Facebook, YouTube, and Twitter. If everything's working, I can't monitor them all. I'm pretty sure that we're all there. Make sure to like us on Facebook. Follow us on Twitter at Hammer Report. Follow us
Nobody
on
likes
YouTube.
us.
It's organic, as you always say. You can also listen on your favorite podcasting platform anytime, day or night. Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Google Podcasts. And you can get all that information, hammerdownracingreport.com. Everything's on there. Everything you need to know is right there. Tonight on the show, we're going to speak with Gabe Mueller, bomber driver out at Oakshade, who picked up his very first A-Main feature win on Saturday night.
In exciting fashion.
Was it exciting? From where
It
I was,
really was.
Yeah.
It was a fun race to watch, especially if you're a Gabe Mueller fan.
Well, yeah. I mean, he led the whole. From what I saw, he led all the way, didn't he?
Yeah, yes, he did.
But things were pretty tight out there. We'll talk. We'll get his version of the story here coming up in just a little bit. Want to mention Oakshade Raceway, where the fastest meet to race, continuing this Saturday night with late model sports and bombers and compacts. Gates open to 4 racing at 7 p.m. Also want to thank Big D's Pizza, subs, ribs, chicken, and more in Clyde, 419-547-1444. Order online at orderbigdspizza.com. And they have a new thing. Right. You saw this too, Jerry? Yeah. He actually texted me about this. I shared that on our Facebook page earlier. I think it might have been today. Today was a really long day. It seems like it went into yesterday. Big Nut barbecue sauce. Have a few different flavors. $5.99 a pint, and you can get it in a little jar. It's pretty cool.
I feel a road trip coming on. I keep telling Dean I'm going to get up there, and I never make it, even though we can't eat inside. I think it's time to. It's warm enough that I'll grab it and go somewhere and sit out on a picnic table somewhere.
Yeah, they got to have a park there in Clyde. Actually, they do have a park there in Clyde. I've been there. Somebody's got a motorcycle going by.
Yeah.
Big on taste, not on price is Big D's Pizza. I want to also thank Real Geese Silhouette Decoys, Millstream Speedway, and, of course, Ron Miller Race Cars. Support the sponsors of our show. That's what makes this happen. Jerry, give us that racing roundup from this past weekend.
All right. This week's racing roundup, once again, brought to you by Tim Sims, powered by iRacing, Tim's Dirt Track Simulators and Souvenirs. Tim's got a trailer set up down at Eldora Speedway. So whenever you head down for any of those special events in 2021, head down to see Tim. Pick up one of these cool Eldora fishing hats. He's got all kinds of stuff, koozies, T-shirts, sweatshirts, you name it, he's got it. Let's get into the racing roundup this week at Attica Raceway Park. Rain. Imagine that. Limaland Motorsports Park. Rain. So with Limaland, we're going to try it again this Friday for our season opener. This will be the Mike Stryker Memorial. Will kick off the season now with the USAC Midwest Thunder Midgets in action, along with the Midwest Physical Therapy Modifieds. The Bud Thunderstocks in our Dirt Track Truck Series will be making their first visit to Limaland for 2021. So looking forward
Is that the Waynesfield trucks, the Dirt Track Truck Series? Okay. I saw the Dirt
Andy
Trucks.
King
I wasn't
is
sure if it was the same one. Gotcha. Okay.
Yep, that'll be them. So definitely looking forward to that. Get to see a lot of my buddies from the Truck Series. Unfortunately, mine not ready yet. Going to still try to have it ready for that first weekend in June to be able to do the Limaland Oakshade double. So crossing my fingers there. But Oakshade Raceway was in action on Saturday night. Chad Finley from DeWitt, Michigan, earned his first late model feature win of the year Saturday at Oakshade. Josh Robertson from Defiance won the Sportsman feature. Gabe Mueller, our guest tonight, picked up his first Bomber A main win. Taylor Dittman's last lap pass got her the Bomber B main win. Race started with Dylan Wittes' spectacular barrel roll while leading on the first lap. Corey Gum won the Compact A main, and Charity Roby out of Butler, Indiana, won the Compact B main. You guys got enough cars for a B main in the Compact starting the season. That's great.
Yes,
There's been
sir.
a lot of compacts this year, yeah.
That's awesome. We've been seeing the same thing at Shady Bowl, so that's good to see the class growing. It's a good way for people to get into racing as long as they're built right and safe. So that's awesome for everybody all the way around. Sandusky Speedway was in action with Dylan Napier picking up the Renegades feature win over Ben Watson and David Nestor. In the Pure Stock feature, Bill Rabbits took the checkered flag in front of Anthony Gracco and Dan Smith. Matt Marlowe took the victory in the Modifieds over Scotty Lamp and Kenny Sharp. Sawyer Stout took the Beginner Stocks feature win over Colton Fowler, with Spencer Adkins finishing third. Eldora Speedway was in action with Brent Marks returning to his family-owned sprint car and overcame a poor qualifying effort to take his fifth career World of Outlaws NOS Energy Drink Sprint Car Series victory on Saturday afternoon in the first round of Let's Race 2 at Eldora Speedway. The first of the two events of the weekend was pushed to Saturday afternoon after rain pushed the start of the event well past midnight. The bottom of the track just couldn't get ran in, so they went ahead and decided, after keeping everybody there so long, let's go ahead and push it to tomorrow. And
Didn't sound like the USAC guys were happy about that.
No,
yeah, it was a great track for USAC, and a lot of those guys were okay with it. It was, from what I'm hearing, a few of the Outlaw guys, which kind of bums me out, but I mean, it is what it is.
Yeah.
Ended up being a pretty good event from what I've heard. Sheldon Hodge Shield picking up the second feature for the USAC cars, and he was light in the first one. As he finished second. He gave second to Aaron Reitzel and Donnie Schatz finishing third. Tyler Courtney led all 30 laps of the Friday feature on Saturday afternoon. And then Sheldon Hodenshield was fast again in the second World of Outlaws feature and actually won that race. He tracked down 10-time World of Outlaws NOS Energy Drink Sprint Car Series champion Donnie Schatz to win that race. Robert Ballou, who was very critical of the decision to move the show to Saturday, he picked up the win in the second of the two events for the USAC Amsoil National Sprint Car Series. It was his first USAC victory in 1,056 days. So congratulations to Robert Ballou. At Flat Rock Speedway, Steve Cronowet Jr. took the Moran Chevrolet Outlaw Super Late Models feature win. First time A-Main winner James Pankow won the DTS Drivetrain Specialist Street Stocks feature victory. Caleb Barron took the Street Stock B-Main checker flag, and Billy Early won in the figure eights. And those are your feature winners on Saturday afternoon. Shady Bowl Speedway was in action Saturday night with the first of four 75-lap features compiling the Ohio 300. We'll have another one in June, July, and then in August, putting together that entire series. Each of the events pays $2,000 to win, with a nice little prize package for them at the end, with a nice points fund. Kyle Jones picked up the first 75-lapper for the late models over Don Mahaffey Jr., who closed in the final laps, just didn't have enough for him. In the Wooten Automotive and Towing Modifieds, it was Chris Parker picking up his second win of the season at Shady Bowl. And in the Herod Septic Solutions Compacts, Alec Young picked up the win until heading to the tech area and was found to be too low, along with two others from the top five. So Tony Heath was handed the victory after finishing second. And then we had the bullet liner of Dayton Thunder cars in action. Scott Drake picked up his second feature win after the event was shortened, cut in half due to rain at the end of the evening. Midwest Champ Carts got their feature in before the rains fell, however, with Tony Jones picking up a last lap pass to pick up the win on Saturday night. Those guys were doing 60 miles an hour around Shady Bowl, an inch off the ground in those carts. It was something to see. Should have checked that out. And then World of Outlaws Morton Buildings late models were in action with Brandon Shepard ending his longest drought, starting a season without a points-paying victory at the World of Outlaws late model series event Friday night at Mississippi Thunder Speedway. Shepard passed race leader Brent Larson late in the race to win his 70th series feature. After 60 laps of slide jobs, crossovers, and battles through traffic, Chris Madden won Saturday night's Dairyland Showdown at Mississippi Thunder Speedway. It was Madden's 30th career World of Outlaws victory. Next up for the World of Outlaws late models, the Billy Vachik Memorial at Port Royal Speedway Friday and Saturday, May 21st and 22nd. World of Outlaws NOS Energy Drink Sprints, Brad Sweet finally scored his first career Lincoln Speedway win on Wednesday night by beating two of the Pennsylvania Posse regulars, leading the final 7 laps. Sweet capitalizing on lap traffic madness when Danny Dietrich spooked race leader Brent Marks and slowed him up, allowing Sweet to sneak by and capture the Gettysburg Clash victory. Next up for the World of Outlaws Sprint Cars, Williams Grove, Pennsylvania this Friday and Saturday, and then Bridgeport Motorsports Park in New Jersey on Tuesday, May 18th. In NASCAR action, defending NASCAR Camping World Truck Series champion Sheldon Creed outlasted both the field and the track Too Tough to Tame Friday night for his first win of the season in the LiftKitsForLess.com 200 Truck Series event at Darlington. Justin Allgaier took the lead during a late restart before surviving an overtime restart to earn his second victory of the series in the NASCAR Xfinity Series Steakhouse Elite 200 on Saturday at Darlington. Martin Truex Jr. put together one of the more dominant races of his NASCAR Cup Series career to win Sunday's Goodyear 400 at Darlington Raceway, leading 248 of the 293 laps. Next up for the Cup Series, the Dryden 400 at Dover this Sunday at 2 p.m. on Fox Sports 1. The Xfinity Series, the Dryden 200 at Dover on Saturday at 1:30 on Fox Sports 1. Trucks will be in action with the Toyota Tundra 225 at the Circuit of the Americas on Saturday, May 22nd at 1 p.m. on Fox Sports 1. In other notes, that guy Kyle Larson.
That guy.
You guys may have heard of him. I don't know. He
raced sprint cars at one time, didn't he?
Yeah, well, he showed that he can do it in
hasn't
late
he
model
raced?
once again. Fighting off Tanner English to win last night's event at Brownstown Speedway in the Castrol Flow Racing Night in America Tour. Man, this guy, what can you say about Kyle Larson?
There's just no limit to his talent.
No, there really isn't. And he can do it in anything. He's shown he can do it in maybe not the best of equipment, and sometimes in the Cup Series has been fast. You know, sprint cars, obviously, he's usually got some pretty good metal underneath him. But
Jerry, what do you think? Tim Richmond?
I don't even think Tim Richmond could live up to it. What Kyle Larson, the tear he's been on this last 2 years has been nothing short of amazing. You can't do anything but stand up and applaud him. I grew up watching a guy named Steve Kinzer do that, but it was mainly in sprint cars.
Right.
Never heard of him.
He could do it in Silver Crown.
Never heard of him.
Never heard of him? No.
Never heard of him.
That 20-time world champion. But that's really the only one that I can even remotely compare him to. And Steve, like I said, did it mainly in sprint cars, whereas Kyle does it in just anything. And it's amazing.
We got Gabe Mueller. He's waiting in the green room here. We'll bring him in just a second. Want to thank Real Geese Silhouette Decoys once again, the most technologically advanced goose and duck decoys ever produced, manufactured in the U.S. Check out
I got the hat for duck and geese hunting.
Geese.com. Yes, you do. Check out realgeese.com or call 419-800-8100. You can check out the new hoodies available on their website. They may have some hats, too. I'll have to check that out. I don't know if they're Eldora hats, though.
No, I don't care if it's got the goose on it or the duck.
Okay.
I tell you what, can't say enough about everybody at therealgeese.com. Everybody down there, Craig Mintz and the whole crew. Those guys
Got
always
a sharp looking car
on.
too with the real geese.
Absolutely.
Absolutely. Yep.
Also, have to mention Millstream Speedway. They're set to kick off their season now June 13th with late models, Strucks, and the Modifieds. Make sure to follow them on Twitter, Facebook, or millstreamspeedway.net. So you're going to be there for that, right? I think all of us will be there, won't we?
That's the plan.
Okay. Good deal. Let's bring in Gabe here. Gabe Mueller, how are you?
Hey, I'm great. How are you guys?
Good.
Oh my! Somebody that's not technologically retarded. We can see him. I love it.
Well, I had to back out a couple times. I was on the dealership's Wi-Fi and had to back out and take that off because it was breaking up pretty bad. So we figured it out. I can hear you.
Very good.
Do you have to get back to work? Do we have to hurry?
Well, it's funny because I borrowed the service department because they close at, I think, 5. And then it was like 7:10. And then a couple of people came in to use the card reader. And I'm like, oh, they never come in here. I was like, hopefully this goes quick. And then, of course, the card reader was out of paper. I'm like, oh, my gosh. So they're fiddling around trying to find the paper. And I'm like, oh, no, I'm going to be late. Typical Gabe Mueller. But we made it. It worked out.
All good, man. Congratulations on that first day main win. I mean, that's I found that kind of hard to believe. But you haven't been. How many years you been racing now?
Oh, I knew that question would pop up. But since 2008 is when I started in Hornets. But I've been racing Bombers on and off since 2010. I believe this is my 4th or 5th. I honestly forget, full season in a row. I think 4th or maybe 5th. I don't know.
That's right. I totally forgot you ran Hornets. Yeah, you have been running for a long time.
That was the second one in that division years ago. That was fun.
Well, talk about that win on Saturday.
Well, it was definitely surreal. It was exciting to start on the front row, but of course, you sometimes have some pressure when you start on the front row to not make any mistakes and just hit your marks because you're kind of showing the way for everyone else. But it was a great experience all in all. It was exciting to start out front and just kind of consistently hit my marks. It gave me a lot of confidence, and especially with all the cautions, I was excited to maintain some consistency and to stay smooth throughout all those cautions.
Yeah, but you're welcome for that. That was my fault.
I wasn't going to name any names, AS. I'm kidding. No, but it was a blast. It was a time in my life. I had a great time.
Starting out front and hitting your marks and everything, when you're going for that, you're closing in on that first career feature win. How many times do you hear the phantom noises beside you and around you, thinking a guy might be coming alongside?
That's funny because I was trying to be aware of that. And I noticed, a couple times out in the lead, under caution, a couple of guys would pull up next to me, and I think about 3 different guys did it. I didn't even look over. I was like, nope, not getting in my head. I'm not letting it happen. So I didn't even look over at him and entertain it. So I was pretty calm. I was happy that I was able to keep myself as calm as I felt. So it wasn't, overly pressure. It wasn't a lot of pressure or anything. But I was, there's always that chance you might miss a mark. But the people in the grandstands have no idea how hard it is to actually lead a race.
Yeah, like you say, you've got to hit your marks, but you don't want to show everything you've got, but you don't want to leave anything on the table, and it's really difficult.
Sure.
And like Jerry says, those phantom exhaust noises. Do I hear somebody?
Luckily, I didn't hear anything.
What was that?
I'm sorry. What did you say? I apologize.
Said, are you feeling a vibration? Am I hearing something? What's going on? Wait a minute. That didn't feel like that a lap ago.
Oh, luckily everything stayed consistent feeling. There was no odd feelings. We actually lost the left rear spring at some point in the race, and I had no clue. It really? Just, Terry Russell actually pointed it out to me in Victory Lane. So that was something, but the car didn't feel any different, oddly enough.
Must not have affected the handling too much then.
Maybe
it helped. Maybe you should just leave it out.
I know that's what we joked about.
You put a whole new meaning to on the bars.
Yeah, luckily it stayed up there. That's for sure.
So let's back up. You talked about running the Hornet class. How did you get into racing? Was that your first race? Did you do any go-karts before that? Or
Nope. The first thing I did was race Hornets. In fact, a pastor of mine named Mark Britton, him and his son Stephen Britton, if some of you remember, Stephen Britton used to race sportsmen out there. They actually got me started. So when the track announced that they were going to create this class for kids, I think Tyler Line was the first one in that class. And then my pastor had this car. If I remember, it was a Dodge Shadow. And I believe the track kind of used it as a rental car for drivers that wanted to get their feet wet. But he had offered, Ron, I think you put the roll cage in it. That was back when I think Yoder paid for, I think 10. Yeah, I think our car was one of, if I remember correctly.
Yeah, John Yoder sponsored 10 race cars, and we built the roll cages for them and mounted the seats and did some incidentals. Yeah.
Yeah, actually, I think the Mitsubishi Eclipse I drove after I drove the Dodge Shadow was the one that you put the roll cage in that Mark Britton owned at that time. So, that's when I got in. I think I was the second driver in that class, may have been the third. I don't really remember, but it was fun. It was a blast back then.
Yeah. My granddaughter's pink station wagon, Stephanie.
That's right. Stephanie did drive that. Yep. There was a lot of cars back then when it was for the kids. That was exciting. It was a lot of fun.
How many years you been driving in the bomber class now?
My rookie year was 2010. I did, I think, 2 races or maybe 3, however the track allows before you're entered in the rookie of the year in 2009. And then I ran for a rookie of the year in 2010. Didn't quite hit that. I think Adam Noonan got that back then. And then off and on, I've been racing since then. But really seriously in the past few years, 4 years or so.
And when this car you have now, when did you start racing this one? Or is it new this year, or has it been when you've been running?
I think this is my 3rd year with that car. This is Chris Henry's old car, actually, the number 68.
Gotcha. So what'd you do in the off season that helped you get that first win here in just the second week?
So we definitely put a lot of time into the car, but a big hand from Terry Rushlow and his whole team, Jamie Fowler, Ricky Wright, Johnny Raines, Al Markey. A lot of these guys had a major hand in this car's rebuild in the off season. So it's all thanks to them. Ultimately, they did a heck of a job, put a lot of time into my car, and I'm truly blessed to have such great help.
But you didn't say
that's really it.
You didn't say what you did though.
Well, that's for us to know and you to find out.
Okay. I figured I'd try. I had to try.
Yeah, it was worth a
That's why
shot.
he's there and not in his race shop where you can see his car, Scott.
That's
what
it
is? I'm at work.
Gotcha. Yeah. So you've raced. Have you run any other tracks or just primarily Oakshade?
I raced Millstream actually the last time they were open back in 2015, 2016, I believe.
Yeah, something like
but
that.
just one time. It was just to shake the car down. I think I actually won the C main the following week or whatever at Oakshade, which was my first victory in a bomber ever. But yeah, I raced Millstream one time, and other than that, I raced Evergreen in the Hornet, and I'm pretty sure that's all I've ever raced. So yeah, basically Oakshade.
You planning to run Millstream again this year?
Probably not this year. I think we're going to focus primarily on Oakshade to see what we can do, especially with some momentum we got going on right now. And I would love to, though. Absolutely, I would love to. I guess it just depends on how the point situation shakes out. Since we're a contender, we're probably going to keep all of our eggs in one basket this year, but I guess we'll see.
I was going to say, it's funny you should mention that. You are first in points. I looked earlier today. I want to say, 6 points ahead of Jeff Folks? It was...
I'm not sure how many points, but yeah, I think it's a few.
Obviously, it's only the second week, so is that something you're looking at already? You're looking for that championship this year?
That would be a bonus, but I think
yes. Be honest, Gabe. Yes.
Yeah. Okay. Yes, it would be great and a dream come true, really, to make that happen.
That's our goal.
That is the goal. The first goal was to get an A main win. I'm just really glad we were able to get that secured so early in the season. But yeah, ultimately the goal would be a championship, God willing.
So how big? What would that mean to you to win the championship if you do get to that this year?
I couldn't even describe. I truly don't know. It would be an absolute dream of mine. I love racing so much. It's just a huge passion of mine. Ever since we kind of got better equipment, it took a long time to afford nice equipment over the years. I've never really had the most, up to date, nice equipment, but selling enough cars, we eventually got there. But I think it would be a dream come true.
You want to give a shout out to your where you work? I don't know if that's if you do or don't.
Yeah, we're at Ruin Chrysler, Dodge, Jeep, and Ram here in Woodville, Ohio. Yeah, we're out here.
So, do you have any other drivers out there you consider, they're the guys you have to beat each week? I mean, is there anybody like that you see as your primary competition?
Yeah, well, ultimately you got to beat them all that show up. But yeah, I would say, Colin Schultz, a good contender. Jeff Folks, Adam Lance. There's a few guys that can give anyone a run for their money any given week. Craig Dittman, Terry Rushlow when he races out there. There's a lot of guys that could secure those wins that we got to hold off.
Now, would you be disappointed in anything less than that championship this year?
No, ultimately, I've always wanted an A main win. I'm super glad to have that. If we don't win the championship, it's not going to be necessarily a heartbreaker. There's a lot of races to go and a lot of consistency that has to be met for that to happen. So I wouldn't, it would really be great, but it'll be okay if it doesn't happen.
Let's talk to him again in August when he is still leading the points by like 20 and see where he stands on that.
Yeah, ask me when there's a couple of weeks left and if we're in the lead.
I think your new pit stall back in the pits may have contributed to your win there as well.
It probably did. Parking next to the Lucky 8S gave us a little luck, I think.
I think you took some away from me, unfortunately.
Yeah,
have any
maybe.
to spare.
I guess so.
So you do. Go ahead.
I was gonna say I like the new pit stall. I never parked with the concrete, and it's much better. The fuel's right there. I mean, everything's right there. The pit barn, the track. It's all pretty close. I like to kind of watch the races over on the grandstand side, though, and I think a lot of my pit members and stuff do too. So that's a little bit of a walk, but no big deal. It's great. I like the spot. We bought it, so we'll be there all year next to you.
Now, you do a lot with social media. I've seen some of your videos out there. How important do you think social media is in today's racing?
Considering the whole world is run off of social media these days, it's a good and bad thing. I think it's the most important thing if you're going to market yourself or just to kind of get your name out there for any given purpose.
Is that how you market yourself then? Do you feel, have you gotten sponsors with that?
Certainly, yeah. In fact, there is this guy who follows me on Instagram, a real great guy. In fact, I ran into him when I used to sell door-to-door at Everdry. He showed up to the dealership one day and found me, gave me $100, says, "Here, I hope this makes you go faster. I watch you on Instagram and all these things." I was like, wow, it's just little things like that have happened, as well as, just I think when you sell advertisement or marketing on your race car, having a social media following definitely is a bonus. Because I think a lot of people look for that competitive edge in their businesses to be able to market to places they can't particularly market themselves. And so I think it comes into play quite a bit.
Obviously, it helps in car sales.
It does help in car sales. I really don't do it too much anymore because you never know when you're going to get canceled for your political views. So yeah, we try to keep the selling cars kind of off the social media for that reason. It's a bummer, but it can happen to anyone, and it's a shame. But ultimately, yeah.
You mentioned your sponsors. You want to rattle off your sponsors?
Oh, heck yeah. So, yeah, the sponsors are a huge part of the success. And we got Smash Dogs Food Truck. They have delicious food if you've never tried it. Of course, Ruin Chrysler, Dodge, Jeep, and Ram. We have the Bunker Bar. Also, Central Collision. Bob Mayer's been my longest-running sponsor. Bob, I greatly appreciate everything you do for me. We have American Custom Firearms and Digital 55. My church, Wonder Ministries, is located in Holland, Ohio, off of Angolda, if anyone needs a great church to go to. And then we have MR Canvas and Upholstery, as well as War Paint Graphics.
You didn't even have those written down, did you? Or did? Oh, you did. Okay. I see. That was good placement. I didn't see you reading it. So.
Big letters, too.
So
I have bad eyesight, so my fiance will think that's funny.
I heard from Scott Warner, a promoter at Millstream. He says his I don't remember if it was one of his kids. Your fiance was their teacher. last
Oh,
year.
really?
Yeah.
Oh, that's interesting. I did not
Small
know
world.
that.
Small world.
Yeah, very small world. I'll have to talk to her, see who that
So,
was.
What's
That's cool.
what's your long-term racing goals? I mean, are you just planning around sticking in the bomber? You ever plan to maybe move up in the next couple of years?
Oh, that's a good question. Kind of up in the air on that. I guess the easiest answer to that is I'll race what I can afford for now. If we can do well enough and maybe someone sees some potential and needs a driver for something else, I would totally be open to that. So I guess that would probably be my ultimate goal, is to not necessarily own and fund the race car, even though I'm totally cool with funding as much as I can and spending as much time working on the car as I can. But driving for somebody would probably be the ultimate goal and pretty much a dream come true.
Sounds
Sprint
like
car
Scott's
team?
trying to get you to move up into a different division so he
Yeah.
can finish for
I'm trying to get
the
the
main.
competition out. Yeah, that's exactly it.
But for now, we're going to stick with the Bombers. It's fun. It's somewhat affordable. And it's fun. Yeah, I love it.
That's what it's all about. That's why Ron still races. He says
That's it. That's
long
the
as it's
only
still fun.
reason.
I hope to be up in your age and still racing, Ron, even though, it's.
He's young. What are you talking about?
I was like, how do I say this?
I think I'll quit when I can't toss my leg up over the top of the door anymore.
Would
If
you
I've
run?
got to use a step stool to get in the car, yeah.
Hey, I almost do too.
Would you consider running asphalt or even a sprint car, or you sticking with the stock cars on the dirt?
I would definitely stick with dirt. I love dirt track racing and just pretty much everything about it. I would totally drive a sprint car. That would be fun. Be probably a huge thrill. Different, I'm sure, but I've played iRacing.
I can do it.
I can do it.
Well, I don't know if you're aware of this, but a lot of our guests go on to win the next week or next race they're in after they're on our show, or maybe sometimes it takes a race or two. So no pressure for this weekend.
Yeah, no pressure now. Thanks. No,
Gabe,
I'm excited.
We appreciate the time, and we'll let you get back to selling cars.
Awesome. Well, it was a pleasure to be on and an honor. So thank you so much.
Two more sales tonight.
Congratulations again.
Yeah,
Thank
sell
you.
some more cars.
We'll do. Won't let you down.
All right, man.
Congratulations.
Thanks again, guys.
See you,
See you,
Gabe.
Gabe.
Bye.
There you go. Gabe Mueller, your Bomber A-Main winner from just the other night. Saturday night.
Gentlemen,
Oakshade Raceway.
I'm taking my leave. I'm going to head
Just in
over
time
and
for the
get
news. You're going to miss out on all the good news.
Hey, I've got it in the prep. I already read it.
Oh, that's true. You had my prep figured out more than I did.
Well, for once.
Yeah.
Usually I'm behind the game, but guys, thank you. Looking forward to being back next Thursday. You guys get done, head on over to the Dirt Racing Network on Facebook and check out our broadcast. I think we're going to have a special guest live in the box tonight with me, Blake Hahn, driver of the number 52 ASCS Championship Series Sprint Car here at the Hillbilly High Banks in here just a little bit. So tune in.
One of these days, I'm going to get down there.
You need to. You
I know.
really need to.
I know. We'll do. All right, we'll
right,
see
guys.
you, Jerry.
Night.
All right, we got some news to get to,
Yeah.
Ron. We have the weekend weather pit stop with Ryan Weekman coming up as well. A lot of racing going on this weekend. Weather's looking pretty good. Spoiler there. But you still definitely want to check out that weekend weather pit stop. Did you hear about North Wilkesboro and everything that's going on down there?
Not a lot. Go ahead.
Well, for those of you that may not be familiar with North Wilkesboro Speedway, it's a short track that NASCAR Cup Series used to race on all the time. Little track. It's got a lot of history down there in North Carolina. And a few years ago, Dale Jr. had an effort to clean the place up so that iRacing, actually we should have had Jerry on for this, the iRacing guys come in and scan it so that they could digitize it and put it in the iRacing simulator. So basically they made a simulated North Wilkesboro. And recently, the Wilkes Chamber of Commerce is calling for Speedway Motorsports Incorporated, I believe, which owns the track, to reopen North Wilkesboro. And Camping World CEO Marcus Lemonis is willing to invest $1 million into the complex. This just coming up this past week. So there's interest in it. I don't know. What do you think of North Wilkes-Barre, Ron? Do you think they should just leave it behind, or do you think they should bring it back?
Dirt.
That was something else I read today, as a matter of fact,
Yeah.
because they said that we're going to have to repave it. And somebody said, well, wouldn't it be cheaper just to, NASCAR's gone dirt racing, just turn it into dirt?
Bring in a grinder, put it out in the parking lot, and NASCAR has shown a lot of interest recently in getting back to its roots on dirt racing, and I think that'd be a great deal.
Yeah, we'll see. We'll see how that works out. Wish them luck. I think it'd be nice to see the track back. I mean,
I don't like to see any track closed, though. So whatever they do is going to be a bonus.
Well, you got to figure if they go to that track, they're probably going to lose a track that's on the schedule now, unless they take a date away from one of the tracks that have 2 dates.
Right.
How do you feel?
Or maybe they'll run an Xfinity race or a truck race for a couple of years and see how it flies.
What do you feel about the tracks that do have 2 dates? Do you think they should keep them, or do you think they should just go to one track each weekend? And
I don't know. Extend the season. We run New Year's Day. Why can't they?
Well, as you saw from my car, running New Year's Day is not very healthy for things.
That was strange.
That was strange. Anyway, radio for 2 there. Lucas Oil Dirt Series is canceling tomorrow's event at 401 Motor Speedway and Saturday's Talladega Short Track event. They actually announced this, yesterday? It was the day before. I think it was yesterday. All because of that cyber attack on the Colonial Pipeline. It's caused fuel shortages, and so.
Scott, I think that's more a matter of being able to get the fans
in
and
track,
out
and
to see the event.
Because it's right in the heart of where that pipeline goes.
Right, the racers will be there, but maybe not so much the fans.
Well, I heard they opened up the pipeline today, so hopefully
and the fans, believe it or not, are an integral part of racing.
Yeah, especially after last year,
Yes, sir.
The American Late Model Series is back. Did you hear about that?
I did.
Yeah, last year not around, and I thought I remember hearing some rumors or something about the ALMS series last year. I don't know if any of it was true, so I'm not going to even throw those out there. But the American Late Model Series is back this year, and it's kicking off this weekend, as a matter of fact, at Eldora on Saturday. 3 races at Eldora, 3 races at Oakshade, 3 races at Merritt, and 2 at Tri-City, and there's talk of maybe some more being added.
Right, I know they were actively seeking additional racetracks.
So it'd be nice to have that series back.
Any idea on what late model racers could be at Eldora?
I don't know, but I can tell you that I saw that pays $5,000 to win on Saturday.
Ooh.
So a little more incentive there. I know a lot of the races are $2,000 to win, 2 or 3, but the World of Outlaw sprints and the late models are going to be featured on CBS June 12th at 1:30 p.m. in the afternoon. It's going to be the World of Outlaws It's Bristol Baby special, so it'll feature footage from the races last month at Bristol with both World of Outlaw series. I believe that, and I was going to double check on it, and I ran out of time, but I think June 12th, isn't that the first race for the SRX series? I believe it's on that evening.
I think you might be right.
Yeah, so I'm guessing it's probably in coordination with that to kind of promote the racing there on CBS. So pretty cool, though, anytime we get that kind of stuff on national television.
Well, and it can't hurt anything at all, Scott. Racing has been seeing some tough times the last couple of years with the virus and short car counts some places, and now we've got the fuel shortage. So anything that can bring more fans and more awareness got to be a good thing.
Speaking of the COVID stuff, Governor DeWine announced that Ohio's COVID-19 health orders will end on June 2nd, which is welcome news for the passionate fans of racing everywhere, and also Eldora, as a matter of fact. They are currently rebuilding their seating maps back to 100% capacity so that they can restart the public on sale of tickets for the 27th and 26th Dirt Late Model Dream, the 38th and 37th Kings Royal, and the 51st and 50th World 100, because as you recall, since they weren't able to run those last year, they're doing both of them this year. They're doing last year's and this year events for all those big events at Eldora. Does that make sense? Did I say that right?
Yeah, it does. It was great that DeWine came forward and said that today, on the same day that the CDC said that if you are fully vaccinated, you don't need to wear a mask. If you are fully vaccinated, you don't need to socially distance. So there's another reason to get that little card that says you've been vaccinated.
Do you have your card?
Yes, sir.
Really? All right.
Scott, no secret. I had COVID back several months ago, and I was tested probably 2 months back. Yeah, thank you. And I have natural antibodies from having the virus, so I wasn't worried about me getting the virus. But I wanted I wanted to be fully vaccinated so that things could open back up, and I would hope that a lot of our listeners feel the same way.
Well, that was one of the reasons I ended up getting it as soon as I could, because I figure the more people that get it, the sooner you get it, the sooner things will go back to normal.
Absolutely.
Or at least as close back to normal as possible.
Same page there.
Yeah. Dave Kemmer says that he thinks we may see a lot of travelers at Eldora on Saturday, since both Lucas Oil and World of Outlaws have an off weekend.
Yeah, okay.
I think he might be right. And also, there was this from Dean a little earlier. Devin Moran won the $13,004 show. Is that right? Why? I don't understand the extra $4, but yeah. That was at Atomic Speedway last weekend. Of course, Devin Moran sponsored by Big D's Pizza. And I believe Sunday you could save 9% off of, if you mentioned Devin Moran.
Yeah, but that's not a good deal.
No, because you can mention the Hammer Down Racing Report, save 10%. Because
we are the 1%ers.
Yeah, I guess so. The National Motorsports Finals, let me start over with that. The National Motorsports Final Appeals Officer overturned penalties Wednesday issued to the Junior Motorsports team after Saturday's NASCAR Xfinity race at Darlington Raceway. Roger Werner heard and considered the organization's appeal, overruling the disqualification that stemmed from Noah Gragson's failure to pass post-race technical inspection. The decision restores Gragson's fourth-place finish and the $1,000 or $100,000 Dash for Cash bonus as the top finisher among a group of 4 drivers eligible for the prize. NASCAR officials said post-race that JRM number 9 entry had violated Rule 20.14c in the NASCAR rulebook, which states all suspension mounts and mounting hardware must not allow movement or realignment of any suspension and or drivetrain components beyond normal rotation or suspension and or drivetrain travel. I don't know what all that means, but I mean, I kind of have an idea, but whatever. You're muted there, Ron.
I am.
What was that?
Oh, I just say I'm fairly race car literate, and I don't have a clue what that meant.
Okay. Wow. Well, that's impressive. There's this thing going on at Sandusky Speedway this weekend. And, the Chihuahua Nationals.
Really?
Not to be confused with this. I thought they were racing dogs, which is something that I used to do. And, and I used to do this thing. It used to be the Wiener Dog Nationals. I actually built those starting gates with my brother. And I don't know why we did this, but yeah, we did that for like 13 years. We did it out at Oakshade a few times too.
Yeah.
That's not what they're doing at Sandusky. So,
good.
It's not dog racing. It's the Chihuahua Nationals. Thanks to the National Compact Touring Series, the Nationals are going to pay. I believe we just got an update. It's up to $1,000 to win for the compacts there. Wait, he sent me some more messages here. I didn't finish reading this from Doug Dock. Track to East Post. A lion never turns around when a small dog barks. Speaking of barking dogs, and so it begins. So yeah, $1,000 to win. Big race there for the Renegades this weekend at Sandusky, and it has nothing to do with dogs. It's actual car racing. Texas Motor Speedway's Eddie Gossage is set to retire following the NASCAR All-Star race next month at the facility after 25 years of running the track. You got dogs barking?
Yeah, I do.
I feel a sneeze coming on.
It's not the Chihuahua Nationals. I think it's the Cavalier King Charles Nationals, the final barking event.
Oh, there it is. All right.
Oh, good one, Scott.
Had to get that out. That's all the news I got. All the news is fit to print for this week.
All right.
Even though I printed it in weird ways. I should do my prep all at once. It's almost time to play How Many, as a matter of fact. But before we do that, let's check out the results of the Twitter poll. This is something that you wanted last week.
That's it. Yeah.
And actually, I had a track, I won't say which one, calling and asking about how that poll was going. And,
really?
Yeah. Here is the results from the Twitter poll. That was, are higher pit pass prices worth it to have higher race payouts? And the results are 40% said yes, 46.7% said no, and 13% don't care. Those are probably the race fans, because unless they're buying a pit pass, they don't really care. And keep in mind this was only 15 votes, so probably not a major sample of the population at large. But for the most part, they said no. And I kind of agree with that because, like I said last week after I thought about it more, that, unless you're one of those top 5 guys that has a chance to win every week and that pay isn't spread out back through the field, you're just paying more to pay those guys up front that are going to win anyways.
Yeah. What sparked this, and I think we talked a little bit about it last week, was a couple of tracks up in Michigan that are paying pretty significant purses for weekly racers.
Did they raise the gate prices, though, for general admission?
I don't know what their gate prices were, but their current pit passes are $35. So I have to assume they were at 25 and went to 35. And now they're fortunate because they have a lot of the casinos up in that area that are very generous with their sponsorship dollars.
I like those kind of places.
Yeah, but late models for a weekly show, $3,000 to win, $300 to start, and all of the divisions saw a little bit of a pay increase. So,
do you think though it's tracks competing with other tracks trying to get the drivers to, because racing's getting more expensive. Hoosier just announced this past week increase in their racing tires.
Some pretty significant increases.
Yeah, I mean, there's increases across the board and shortages on parts and things. So maybe it's the tracks are trying to attract the drivers.
Well, I can tell you for sure, Scott, that almost across the board, racing parts have been going up substantially. Used to be if somebody needed a case of tear-offs, I knew how much they were and I could quote a price. I won't quote a price on anything anymore.
Got to look it up. Find your
I got to
cost
look
first.
it up. Absolutely.
Well, it makes sense. You don't want to sell it at a loss. Then Ron Miller race cars will go out of business.
Yeah.
We don't want that. How about we play How Many?
Sure.
Last week's How Many was how many NRA sprints were going to be at Limaland on Friday night. And with the rain out, that would be 0. So I believe that makes me the on-show winner from last week. I picked 0.
I knew that might happen.
Online, though, I was the pessimist, and I won with that. But we have a tie amongst our online entries. So we'll spin the Big D's pizza wheel to find out who's going to be our listener winner. So there's your 4 names.
Oh, I would have thought there was a lot more people than that.
There were not as many people were as pessimistic as I was. J.D. Smith, Matt Swanner, James Tusing, and Dean Henry, who I guess is going to give himself a free pizza. Since he owns Big D's Pizza, he could probably do that anytime. So if Dean wins, we're probably going to spin it again. But here we go. We'll see who's going to win. All these guys picked 0.
If it goes green, we're doing it again.
Yeah. Dean wins every day because he owns Big D's Pizza. So Dean is already a winner. I guess I could have clicked remove. Here, let's try again.
Yeah.
The wheel's going around. Oh, no.
All right.
Matt Swander, there's your winner. I think he's won a few times. He's got some Big D's Pizza.
Yeah.
He usually has or donates his winnings to local first responders. So we'll see if Matt's going to do that again this week. So congratulations, Matt. This week's how many for a Big D's Pizza? Dean says, yes, sir. He's a winner. How many late models will be at Eldora on Saturday? And now with that little nugget of knowledge with, the World of Outlaws and Lucas Oil guys being off this weekend, how many do you think we're going to get? And I guess I have to pick first, don't I?
Yes.
I'm going to go with 54. For some reason, that's in my head.
Ooh, boy, that's a big number.
That is a big number, especially with Oakshade racing on Saturday as well. So what do you got, Ron?
36.
36. You could have just said 53. And
Nah, no, I want to be right on, Scott.
why didn't you pick 35? That's your number.
Well, because I think 36 is how many race cars are going to be there.
All right, that works.
Don't talk me out of it.
If you'd like to play...
Besides, if I change my mind, you're going to throw the black flag at me.
Well, that's right. You're right. Speaking of which, if you'd like to play along, just put your guess in the comments of our Facebook Live. You can do so up until, I'm going to say Saturday at noon. So if you're listening to us on Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, whatever, not listening to us live, you can still find our Facebook Live, go to the comments, put your guess in. You can only guess once. Wayne County upped their purse to $3,000 to win Saturday too. Yeah, all right. It's thanks to Thomas Cole there. Some more information.
Tom, is that for this Saturday, or is that for every Saturday?
That is a good question. We'll see what he says. He was about 30 seconds behind. But anyways, go ahead, put your guess in, and you could win Big D's Pizza. Just put.
Well, I'm seeing some pretty big numbers there, Scott.
Yeah. What do we got? 65. I see on the high end. What do we got on the low end here? 35. Dean picked your number.
Yay.
For the late models, Thomas Cole says, or no, that's what Dean says. Thomas Cole for late. I figured out what's going on. Okay. So there you go. Want to thank Ron Miller Race Cars. Good service up there. 734-856-7223. Race car parts, safety, equipment service, everything a racer needs. Carburetor repair. So
for guys that are really in trouble, we even do home visits.
Yeah, I was only a couple miles from you. It wasn't that far. I'll pay for the gas. How's that?
Yeah, okay.
So give Ron a call. 734-856-7223. Are you caught up in the shop at all?
No.
Okay. Well, that's fair enough.
We're working at it.
Okay. We got a lot of races, as I mentioned, coming up, and we'll have Ryan Weekman's Weekend Weather Pit Stop coming up immediately following this list. Tomorrow night at, you got a couple choices. You got Lima Land Motorsports Park, the Mike Streaker Memorial, presented by Post Printing, featuring the USAC Midwest Thunder Midgets, UMP Modified Stocks, and the Dirt Track Truck Series, as Jerry mentioned earlier. Gates open at 5, racing at 7:30. General admission $12 there at Lima Land. Attica Raceway Park in action with the Eric Phillips 33rd Anniversary Classic. American Power Sports of Finley and Sandusky. Adkins Group. Smith Paving Night. Those are 3 different things. They get a lot of sponsors out there for their events at Attica. That's going to be a Attica Fremont Championship Series event for the 305s and the 410s. 410s paying $4,000 to win. 305s paying $1,000 to win, plus the UMP late models. Gates open at 5, racing at 7:45. General admission at Attica is $18. So those are your Friday night choices. Saturday, we got Flat Rock. It's going to be Kids Day. 12 and under are free, plus you get a free hot dog. They're going to have a 250-lap enduro, the figure eights, the street stocks, the bandoleros. That's the little cars. Main gate opens at 2 and racing still at 4. So early on Flat Rock. Don't go to Flat Rock in the evening. If you want to go to Flat Rock, make sure you're there by 4. That's when racing starts. General admission is $15 up there at Flat Rock, Michigan. Oakshade Raceway in action. UMP late models, sportsmen, bombers, and compacts. Gates open at 4, racing at 7. General admission is $14. Sandusky Speedway, as we had mentioned earlier, it's the Chihuahua deal, Nationals. 1,000 to win for the Renegades. Beginner stock, pure stocks in action. Pit gates open at 3. Main gate opens at 4. Racing at 7. General admission back again to $5. $5 for a 1,000 to win show.
That's pretty cool.
That is pretty cool. Fremont Speedway, it's Great Lakes Truck Center's night, featuring the Attica Fremont Championship Series, 410 sprints and 305s, and the dirt trucks. Gates open at 4, racing at 7. General admission is $15. So doubleheader for the AFCS this weekend. And then Sunday, and I think I'm probably going to go to this, Toledo Speedway, Central Avenue Truck Parts School Bus Figure 8, Late Model Sportsman, Factory Stocks, and Boat Figure 8s. Kenny Schrader is going to be driving a school bus, his first school bus figure 8 race. I saw he was testing down at Eldora just, I don't know if it was earlier today or yesterday, in one of the SRX series cars.
Right.
So he's already in the area, but yeah, he'll be out there Sunday afternoon. Racing starts at 2 p.m. at Toledo Speedway. General admission tickets for that event is $18. That is the the season opener for Toledo Speedway, first event. And then next weekend they got the ARCA series.
I know a lot of the Toledo Speedway late model sportsman guys are pretty excited about finally getting to race with fans in the stands and back to a regular schedule.
Yeah. Mr. Cole, the answer is I do not. Actually, I did get an update from Scott Warner. As a matter of fact, I was going to say no. I guess he had a couple of guys doing some testing down there, and he said the track's in pretty good shape. They're still working on just some final touches there, getting things ready for that season opener in June 13th. So that's your update for Millstream there. Yeah, looking forward to that. Let's check out the weekend weather pit stop with WTOL 11's Ryan. I almost said Ryan Newman.
Ryan Weekman.
Ryan Newman's doing the weather now. Ryan Weekman. Here we go.
Here is your weekend weather pit stop forecast. I'm First Alert meteorologist Ryan Weekman, and fair warning, before we start this forecast, it is going to be boring, but in the right kind of way for the raceways out there. Let's start Friday night at Limaland and Attica. Temperatures, they should cool off during race time, but will likely be in the 60s and into the 50s by the late evening hours. Dry conditions, though, and clear skies. Saturday, a touch warmer. I think during the afternoon, we reach the lower 70s with plenty of sunshine. Light winds will also rule the day. Flat Rock, you're starting at 4 p.m. Temperatures will be right there near 70 to 72 degrees. Oakshade, Sandusky, Fremont, and Eldora later into the evening. I do expect temperatures once again will drop off into the 60s and 50s, but very pleasant conditions. And again, with the light wind, should make for a very comfortable evening of racing. Sunday at Toledo Speedway, right in the heart of the afternoon. Could be a few more clouds, maybe a bit more of a breeze, but I still think highs reach into the 70s, and be smart out there. This could be one of those sunburn surprise sort of weekends. If you don't put some sunscreen on or precautions, you come out of the weekend maybe a little more red than what you expected. This has been your weekend weather pit stop forecast. I'm First Alert meteorologist Ryan Weekman.
Yeah, I forgot to mention Eldora. For some reason, I skipped over that.
Yeah.
The late model lid lifter on Saturday with the American Late Model Series, 5,000 win for that. Modified stocks also in action at Eldora. Gates open at 4, racing at 7:30. Reserve seats starting at $19 for that show. So, cool stuff there. No Hammer Down Hotline to play back tonight. I know everybody's very disappointed about that, but I know. If you want to be on the show and just for the heck of it, just say, hey, what's up? Or, hey, Ron, fix my trailer kind of stuff. I don't know.
Yeah, right.
318-3081. That's 419-318-3081. Call anytime, day or night. If you call during the show, you're not going to be on that show. You'll be on the following week, most likely.
Actually, Scott, I've got a trailer to fix on Sunday.
Do you? It's not mine.
One of my old friends loaned out his trailer, and I guess they lost the ramps, so he bought some new ramps, but the new ramps are wider. So now I've got to open up the storage area for the ramps. So
Fabrication work.
that's it. And he uses the trailer in his business, so he can't have it out of commission during the week.
This really does sound like that crazy caller that we've had before. Are you sure this
Oh,
is
no.
the same guy?
No.
Okay. I want to thank associate producer Dave Kemmer and field correspondents Matt Swander, Doug Dock. Next week, I actually have Charlie Crawl from ARCA working on putting together. So I didn't really have anybody in particular that I wanted to speak to. ARCA Racer, they're going to be in town a week from Saturday. So I figured try and get one of the ARCA guys on there.
Sure.
Are you shaking your computer or something? You're like
No,
moving. All right.
I
Yeah, that's it.
think I bumped it with my knee.
Gotcha. So I'm not sure who we're going to have on next week. I told Charlie to surprise me. We'll see who.
But it'll be cool, whoever.
We'll see who he puts us in touch with. That'll be next week on the show, 7:00 Thursday night here at Hammer Down Racing Report. Again, thanks to all of our sponsors. Of course, Oakshade Raceway, our presenting sponsor. Real Geese Silhouette Decoys, Mill Street Speedway, Big D's Pizza, and Ron Miller Race Cars, where he doesn't fix just race cars. He fixes trailers, too.
Yeah, whatever.
And hopefully my car will be fixed for this weekend for some racing. Get out and support your local track this weekend.
Oh, yeah, take a look at that oil leak again.
My oil leak?
Oh, yeah.
Did you make it leak more?
It was marking its territory, Scott.
Yeah, I know. It's been marking its... I may have to live with it this year until I can get the engine refreshed. We'll see. Yeah, that's it. We'll see you next week or a local racetrack around.
Yeah.
You got 3 days to choose from, so...
And it's going to be a spectacular weekend. First really nice summer-like weekend. Get out to a local track somewhere near you.
Bring a jacket, though. Could get cool in the evening still.
Maybe. Competition's going to be hot.
We hope. All right, man. We'll see you guys next week.
Yes, we will. Goodbye.
You have been listening to the Hammer Down Racing Report, available on demand on iTunes, Google Podcasts, Spotify, or your favorite podcasting platform.